You slept 8 hours last night. You went to bed on time. You didn't touch your phone in bed. By every rule you've ever heard about sleep, you did everything right. So, why do you still feel like you're dragging yourself through the day? A growing body of sleep science says the number of hours you sleep might be the wrong thing to track entirely. There's a second kind of sleep loss that doesn't show up on any tracker unless you know exactly where to look. It builds silently, night after night, even when your sleep looks perfect on paper. By the time you notice it, it's already reshaping how your brain and body work. Today, we're breaking down exactly what that is and how to actually fix it. Before we get into it, if you're someone who cares about actually understanding your body instead of guessing, hit subscribe. It helps this channel keep making videos like this one. Now, let's get into it. Point 1. Sleep debt accumulates silently. Sleep debt is simple in theory. Your body needs a certain amount of sleep every night, and any shortfall doesn't disappear, it adds up. The problem is that most people don't fall short by 2 or 3 hours. They fall short by 20 or 30 minutes, night after night. That amount feels invisible. You don't wake up in obvious distress. You just feel slightly less sharp, slightly more irritable, slightly slower to react. Researchers who study this call it a deficit that compounds quietly, because your brain doesn't send a strong enough signal to make you notice it until the debt is already significant. By the 2-week mark, people with a small nightly shortfall perform on cognitive tests about as poorly as someone who pulled an all-nighter without ever feeling like they missed a full night of sleep. Point 2. Social jet lag. There's a specific version of this problem that's especially common, and it has an actual name in sleep research: social jet lag. It happens when your sleep schedule on weekdays is very different from your sleep schedule on weekends. Say you wake up at 6:30 during the week for work, but you sleep in until 10 on Saturday and Sunday. That 2 to 3 hour shift is functionally the same thing your body experiences when you fly across time zones. Except you're doing it to yourself every single week, without ever leaving your city. Your internal clock gets reset twice. First shifted later on the weekend, then forced back earlier on Monday. That mismatch is measurable. Studies tracking this pattern link larger weekday to weekend shifts with worse mood, lower energy, and even changes in metabolic markers. Point 3. Why weekend catch-up sleep doesn't actually work. This is the part most people get wrong. The instinct is to think you can borrow sleep during the week and pay it back on the weekend. Your body doesn't work like a bank account. Research on recovery sleep shows that a couple of long weekend nights can restore how alert you feel, but it does not fully reverse what happened at the cellular and metabolic level during the week of shortfall. Insulin sensitivity, for example, has been shown to stay impaired even after a recovery weekend. So you might feel caught up, while some of the underlying cost is still sitting there unresolved. Feeling rested and being recovered are not the same thing, and that gap is exactly why sleep debt is so easy to underestimate. Point 4. What wearables are actually revealing? This is part of why wearables like Aura and Whoop have become so popular, and it's not just a trend. People who track their sleep are discovering a mismatch between the hours they log and how recovered they actually are. 2 nights that both show 7 hours of sleep can produce very different amounts of deep sleep and very different heart rate variability, one signal your body uses to indicate how recovered you are. Total hours in bed was never a complete picture. It's an easy number to track, but it hides how fragmented or how light that sleep actually was. That's the real value of this data. It's not about optimizing for its own sake. It's about finally seeing the debt that was always invisible before. Point 5. The real cost of letting it build. None of this is abstract. The cognitive cost shows up as slower reaction time, worse short-term memory, and weaker decision-making, all measurable well before someone would describe themselves as sleep-deprived. The metabolic cost includes reduced insulin sensitivity and changes in hunger hormones, which is part of why chronic short sleep is linked to weight gain over time, independent of diet. And the mood cost compounds both of those, because a tired, under-recovered brain is simply worse at regulating stress. None of this requires dramatic sleep loss. It requires small, repeated shortfalls that never get fully repaid, which is exactly the pattern most people are living without realizing it. So the takeaway isn't that you need to sleep more, necessarily. It's that consistency matters as much as quantity. Keeping your wake-up time within about an hour of the same time every day, weekends included, does more for closing this gap than one long recovery night ever will. If this helped you understand your own tiredness a little better, hit like, drop a comment with your current wake-up time on weekdays versus weekends, share this with someone who's always sleeping enough but still tired, and subscribe for more videos like this one.